bevo.com.
Philip, putting the focus now on the individual as opposed to the corporation, what do you think is sort of one or two of the most sort of obvious characteristics of highly successful individuals?
Well, I think that there's as always, there's little to replace simply really loving and having a tremendous desire to see what you're doing work. You know, I think for the most part in this life, people tend to get what they want. It's just that sometimes what they want isn't necessarily something that's going to make them happy in the end. I mean, if you're really driven to see a new product, you know, to see something like Second Life just happen, which I was, it does. I mean, it enables you to stay focused, to keep having fun, to be creative. I think all of that is driven by just fundamentally having a passion for the specific details of what you're working on. And I think that in the modern world where technology, like Second Life, is now enabling us to all have more options at work. I mean, employees can work now, in many cases, at 10 companies that have the same properties that only 1 or 2 companies would have had, you know, say in the city they lived in a decade ago, especially in technology. And if that's true, then you have to start to differentiate. You have to make decisions about what you want to do based on just passion, you know. And so I think for an individual, really having passion and the ability to focus on a specific idea is very compelling. The other thing I would say is, and I think this is just as important, a real humility around one's ability to plan is very important. I think that people as designers, and especially people that are inventive and innovative, tend to greatly sometimes overestimate their ability to predict the future. And so they do too much planning and they don't have enough feedback. They don't take a look at whether the things they're doing are actually working in the marketplace. So that idea that you must get something out into the market early and see whether people like it and ask them questions about it and then try and make improvements to it without assuming that you know everything. I think if I could cite one thing that we did as a company, we made changes as we saw them working and as we saw people accepting them. We didn't try and forecast out, you know, a year and design a year's worth of capabilities into the product and then release them. We just didn't think that we were smart enough to do that, and that was fortunate because I think it was very important. And I think every individual manager, everyone working individually on execution, can remember that you frequently take a check and look at whether what you're doing is actually working rather than just planning it all ahead.
Interesting. So sort of no perfectionism allowed. You go into the market
Right.
and then you can get close to perfection, but not in the head.
That's right.
bevo.com.